Fox Sports analyst, decade in the NFL. He had the Seahawks Chargers last week. So let's first of all, you know Pete very well, obviously. So I saw pictures on the interweb of you and Pete, and we had picked on this show. I like the Seahawks. Mm-hmm. I will say this, however. What is happening is a combination, it looks like, of a great draft and Shane Waldron. How surprised are you at the Geno Smith revelation?
I said it in our meetings with Geno last week. I said it on the broadcast that the rookie Geno that I met 10 plus years ago, if somebody would have asked me back then if he would still be in the NFL, let alone doing what he's doing, I would have said no chance. No way. Not with what I saw. Now, was there arm talent? Yes. Was the work ethic there in spurts? At times, you know, it just didn't seem like I couldn't totally tell, like, does he really love this stuff? Right. Or like, you know, and a lot of rookies, that's not an easy place for a rookie, you know, coming into New York like that. But what he's done between his ears, most importantly, and then physically with his body. And I said, what brought on this change? He said, I've had 10 years. I've been in the film room and in the weight room, figured out how to eat right, watching guys like Russ, figured out how to watch tape. Watching guys like Phillip Rivers for the year he was with the Chargers.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, I started learning, really learning. And I basically told myself, when I get this next chance, I'm going to go take somebody's job. I don't know where it is, but I'm going to take somebody's job and it's going to be mine. And he's made it happen. So you can't say enough about what he's done and that kind of transformation.
You know, Mark, he is big. I've stood next to him at ESPN.
Oh, yeah. And he looks way bigger than before. Like it wasn't like baby fat, but he was still like young. He hadn't become, I mean, he's a man. He's a man now, you know, and he was like a kid before. And, you know, he's taking hits and he's using his speed. Like he had a little quick twitch, but he was a little thicker before and not muscular thicker. He was just, you know, like a little huskier. I don't know how to describe him.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as flattering as it is today. Let's just say that. Right, and he would admit that. So, you know, his ability to, steal a first down with his legs on 3rd and short. I mean, it just breaks the defense's back. And you don't think about that from him. And there he goes, extending the drive. And you're like, dang.
So you had the Chargers as well. I don't know what's to blame. They lost their left tackle and their center for a while. Keenan Allen's always been a great 3rd down receiver. Mm-hmm. So they are, no question, missing parts. But something's off with Justin Herbert. Something is off. I will say this. I've said this before off the air. I feel like their offense, it's very predictable. It's Herbert drops in the pocket. They don't move a lot of stuff for me. Now, again, that's just, I'm not in film rooms.
Sure.
Something's off with the offense.
Well, I think it was a tale of two sidelines. And, you know, the Seattle sideline is just full of energy, right? Pete's got that group just jumping out of their skin, excited to play. And it looked like a birthday party. Well, the Chargers sideline, unfortunately for them, like they were getting ready for that bye week and trying to get into the bye week to get healthy. And you could tell it looked a little more like a funeral. Like it was just subdued and not enough juice. And you're like waiting for somebody. Everybody was kind of looking around, waiting for somebody to make a play. And when it felt like their guys needed to step up, well, Keenan Allen was still banged up from the hamstring injury. And that offense looks a lot different without him. He's, you know, one of the toughest dudes. I think he's one of the best wideouts who doesn't get enough credit in the league. But when he's out, that offense is much different, right? Because now you get Mike Williams, who got hurt in the game as well. And now Herbert's back there slinging it around 50, 60 times a game. And who am I throwing to? Now, it's not all DeAndre Carter's fault. It's not all, you know, the tight end's fault. But Parham was out. You know, so they had so many guys. Yeah. And now it becomes, okay, where are you going? You're just going to throw to Carter and Eckler? Like, what do you expect Justin to do, right? And so when that happens mid-game, it's hard to start moving all these chess pieces around. When you know that's the case, like the Giants every week now, like knowing they're not going to have a bunch of receivers in, okay, we're going to have to move guys around.
Right.
We're going to have to get creative, just like for the Seahawks this week. Potentially no DK Metcalf. I don't know if that's for sure or not. Yeah. But if he's out, I mean, it leads me to think that 13 personnel, that 12 personnel where you only have 2 receivers or 1 receiver on the field, 3 tight ends, 2 tight ends at a time, just get your best 11 on the field.
Yeah.
But when you don't know that and it happens mid-game, I mean, that is like catastrophic for an offense. Plus the back and forth turnovers, and I felt like Seattle just capitalized on some of those turnovers. So and back to the Geno thing, you saw the soundbite of Marquise Goodwin saying Geno checked the play. Did you hear that on the first touchdown pass up the right-hand side? And,
yes. I saw it virally yesterday. Yes.
So basically, it's like a three-man combination. There's a back coming out of the backfield. He's got a three-way go. He can sit it down, break out, or break to the post. The tight end or inside receivers breaking either on like a basic or like a deep post down the middle. And the outside guy is kind of like your third option. And then you get to the halfback on the other side or your outlet on the other side. Well, Geno basically told them, like, hey, they're going to be so concerned inside. They're not worried about you. They're worried about T-Lock. They're worried about Metcalf. Hey, Keese, go do your deal, man. Go run up on him with that elite speed and then save me some space outside. Like, that's a dude who's dialed in, who knows exactly what he's going to get, who's getting the looks in practice, who's been coached well by Shane Waldron, and he went out and executed. When he knew it, he knew it. It's like we used to say it in some places, but know and know you know, meaning have the confidence to act on what you know. It's one thing to know it. It's another thing to know it and go do it, and he's doing it.
The basketball culture in America is different than the football culture. The basketball culture is basically spot talent at 12 and get them paid. It is a more coddling.
Not a bad deal.
Well, it's a more coddling media, and that's because there's 7 or 8 people in the need. You need access to Kevin Durant. You need access to LeBron. It's very soft coverage. You don't have college coaches barking at stars. NBA coaches get fired quickly. You don't bark at stars. Football culture is different. High school on, coaches are barking even at the star quarterback.
Yep.
And the media is harder on football guys because we don't need, outside of Mahomes in Kansas City, you don't need access to, you got 50 guys.
Sure.
You don't have 2 you have to get access from. So football players, by and large, take criticism better than basketball players. That's my takeaway.
More accustomed to it.
Yeah, It's a harsher environment. So when Aaron comes out and, Aaron Rodgers comes out and fires some shots, my takeaway is in basketball, that could be punitive. In football, it's not ideal. Are there times, because, Aaron's eye rolls are public and the McAfee show's public and the podium's public. It's a lot of public criticism or public skepticism. Do most football players handle that okay?
Oh, man. It depends on the guy. I think the football players are more inclined, at least in my experience, to give the patented answer like, hey, that's kind of the way it goes. Like, or, yeah, we got to play better and kind of brush it off that way just because you're more conditioned to kind of do that and protect the team with, how you speak to the media and how you speak to your teammates and all that. But I guess with Aaron, I think it's important, like if we're going to judge him with body language and stuff, I mean, Peyton Manning had some crappy body language at times. Tom Brady has had some awful body language at times. Eli has had some awful. I had horrible body language at times where you just go palms up and you rip somebody or you're looking at the coach like, dude, what the hell? Like, I'm on an island out here, man. Come on, give me something. And so I just think we got to be fair about it. It's easy to jump on a guy when they lose 4 or 5 in a row or whatever it is. But I think the gist of what he's saying is like, hey, listen, we're in a rut. Like, let's keep it as simple as possible. We can't just do what we've known, meaning him and LaFleur or him personally, and what we know to be right or easy for us, because easy for us is relative, and that might not be easy for guys who are just coming into the league.
So go back to your career, like your 3rd or 4th year. Give me a rookie receiver that came in. How hard is it to make it work?
Stephen Hill from Georgia Tech. We thought he was going to be the next Calvin Johnson, Demaryius Thomas, RIP.
Big, fast guy, but
yeah, and one of those guys like straight line speed guys and fast, but not nearly the physical type of player that Calvin and Demaryius were. Like those guys had a real dog in them. The ball's in the air, it's their ball. You know what I mean? And Steven was just not as physical as them, but had some of the straight line speed and came out and had an incredible game, I feel like, week 1 against the Bills. He caught like 2 touchdowns, had like 200 yards receiving and stuff. And so then teams start to figure it out. Like, okay, well, this guy's not a big contact guy. Go jam him. Jam him at the line and make him come up with a counter punch.
And he went
and
down.
It was difficult, and it was hard for him. It made life hard. So if you can't counter the counter, then, you start to get suffocated a little bit, and it makes life really difficult. So, but they're trying to do it, right? With Watson, like giving him the fly sweep for a touchdown and getting him in the backfield, handing him the ball, whatever you got to do to instill confidence. Bottom line, that's your job as a coach. The way you set up meetings, the way you watch film, the way you set up your practice schedule, the way you talk to players, it's all about instilling confidence. Same thing with the Patriots. Like, I just didn't understand the whole quarterback back and forth. Like, whether it's a receiver, quarterback, whatever, your job is to get those guys excited to play and confident enough to go make mistakes and move on from those mistakes. Like, acknowledging it's not going to go perfect. It never does. We've yet to have a perfect game. So just like in production, I love our producer, Mark Titleman. Every week, hey guys, we're planning on it going perfect. I guarantee it doesn't. I've yet to see a perfect production on Sunday. So when something happens and the graphic gets messed up or your telestrator doesn't work, Mark, or whatever, move on now. We got to roll. We don't have time to sit and pout and, wallow in our sorrows. We got to roll. And so that's part of coaching. And when you look at Coach Carroll and Coach Belichick and LaFleur, like, they're all trying to do the same thing, right? They're all trying to just get those guys ready to go, get them to Sunday healthy and confident. That's it. Like, that's the name of the game. And in spurts, it works. And now the sustainability of it is the most difficult part, right? Which makes what Belichick's done an anomaly, and what he's trying to rebuild now so difficult. He had a success for almost 20 years or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So it's it's hard league, man.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.